If I'm being completely honest, I got very lucky as an investor because I got into investing and into my financial education journey at the bottom of the 2008 crash. I was in college and I started learning about money and investing through books. And this was when real estate prices were at rock bottom. I was making a little bit of money through a small business that I was running, but I was seeing that real estate prices were at rock bottom. I didn't know what that meant. Now, I started reading books that said I should go out and invest in real estate. So now I'm 19 years old. I'm in college. I'm studying to become a doctor. And now I have this idea to start investing in real estate. I started looking at rental properties for sale, and I'm looking at homes for $30,000. And to me, this was normal because I had never seen anything before. I had never looked at homes before. I don't know real estate investors. I've never met a real estate investor before. I didn't even know what real estate investing was. This was my first exposure to the housing market and real estate in general. So when I saw a home for $30,000, I said, this must be normal. Because again, I'm in the Metro Detroit area where home prices were hit especially hard. But $30,000 was a little bit out of my reach then because I'm 19 years old. And so I found eventually this condo that was on sale for $8,400. That was the total price of the condo. I ended up buying it for $8,000 and then I rented it out for $600. It took me a few $1,000s to get it fully renovated, maybe total cost in about $12,000. But then I was able to rent it out for $600 a month. Now, the $600 a month wasn't all of my profit. I had expenses I had needed to pay. And that's the beauty part where, oh my God, what an amazing return. The problem for me was I had no idea what I was doing. So I made every mistake possible. I had a horrible tenant. I had a horrible property manager who I don't even think was licensed as a property manager. I had a horrible contractor who told me he was licensed when he was not licensed. But it was a great learning curve. And that was how I got started. For me, I was fortunate to get started at this time when it was so cheap. But the interesting thing here was when I was getting started in real estate, I knew people around me who were way smarter than I was, who had way more money than I did, or had access to way more money than I did. And when I talked to them about investing in real estate, about what I was doing, every single person told me that I had lost my mind because real estate was causing people to lose their shirts. Now, it doesn't make sense today, but during that time, people thought that the real estate market was done for, as if nobody would ever buy a home again. Again, today, this seems like it's crazy. That doesn't make any sense. But that's what the sentiment was back in 2009, 2010, 2011, even into 2012, that nobody would want to own real estate ever again. Everybody was running away, which created opportunities for people to come back. Now, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to see how much real estate prices have grown since then, but you have to understand now the ability to go against what everybody else is doing. It was the same thing in 2020. People thought that nobody would ever spend money again. People thought that nobody would ever live in this economy again. People thought that nobody would ever buy stocks again, that the whole system was on the verge of imploding. See where we are today. You can even go back in time and look at what happened during the 2000 dot-com bubble bursting. Back in the late 1990s, the internet started to grow. We started to see more and more companies on the internet, and the valuations of dot-com companies started to grow through the roof. If you started a company and you put the word .com at the end of it in the late 1990s, you could have gone out and raised millions of dollars just because you had the name .com at the end of your company. It was that excitement and that fervor that people wanted to get involved in the next hot thing, and the money was flowing in. And then in the late 1990s into the year 2000, the money stopped flowing in. And that was when the bubble burst. In the year 2000, that was when we started to see the dot-com bankruptcies, and that's what created the first P, panic. This panic then enticed people to start selling out of their investments as markets were going lower, which pushed markets even lower, which brings us to the first O, which is overselling. Then over the course of a year, we saw internet company stocks fall by around 70% on average, which created a huge opportunity, which is the third O, for people who saw the opportunity here. And then came the final P in poop, which is profit, when people realized that the internet was not a fad. Let me read you a couple headlines from the dot-com bubble. This one was published in December of 2000, and the headline was, "Teenagers are, quote, no longer interested in this internet." And the first line of this article is, "Teenagers are logging off the internet in millions, disappointed at being unable to buy goods online and by the failure of the sites which had hoped to attract them." This headline read, "Keep on believing the internet hype," and the subheadline was, "We are abandoning the internet to go back to the real world, but how long will the backlash last?
If you enjoyed this short clip from my longer videos, here's another clip that I think you'll love. And while you're at it, if you're interested in learning more about how to start generating passive income, our team put together an amazing guide on how to start generating passive income for free. All you gotta do is click that button right over there. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep hustling.